Yesterday, yesterday we had discussed about merge join and then what is the other one? Conditional split, right? So today let's discuss about slowly changing dimension. Okay. Slowly changing dimension, which is usually called as a SCD. Okay. So this slowly changing dimension transformation will do mainly three things. We have three types of SCDs. Three types of SCD. Type 0, type 1, and then type 2. So type 0 is nothing but it's fixed. Type 0 will call it as a fixed, and type 2 changing. Sorry, type 1 changing, type 2 historical. Right. So if you take an example of ID, name, and then salary. 1, 2, 3. Name A, salary list 1000. B, salary is 2000. C, 3000. Let's see, these are the records available in my table. We have to declare which of the columns are fixed, which we need to declare as a changing, and which are all historical. So according to that, the STD will work. So fixed means, if let's say if you have declared any field as fixed, it won't allow changes to it. So what kind of fields will we should make it as a fixed? Maybe employee ID will be fixed, right? It won't change, right? Employee date of birth, it will not change, right? It should be fixed. So such kind of fields we can make it as a fixed, so that if any changes occurs to it, it will fail it. If you give any, if you select any field as a fixed, you need to select these types in SCD transformation. I'll show you that. And if you choose any field as changing, then it will maintain the most recent value in the table. Let's say here in our case, fixed, I'll take it as a ID. Okay. And name changing, and salary I'll take historical. Okay, assume this is example. And here, if I try to change it, the value from the source, and always like lookup, SCD also will try to look up data with source and then destination. If compared to destination, if source is changing any value, let's say I have the same source. Let's assume this is my source table from where I'm getting the data. Now, if I update 1 to 5, then what happens, since we have declared this one as fixed, the transformation will get failed. Why? Because since we have declared this column as fixed, the changes are occurring, so it should not change it, right? So it should not update 1 with 5 in the destination. Why? Because the source is getting changed. So if you give fixed, the transformation will get failed and it will not update the data in the destination, right? And if you use changing, it will update the most recent value in the table, which means, let's say here, instead of A, if it is AX, name has changed, last name, right? So then it will update the recent, it will overwrite it. It will overwrite the recent value in the destination when comparing to the source. If you give any field as changing, right? And if it is historical, let's say you have changed the salary of 2000 in the source, you made it as a 10,000. Okay, what happens, here one more record will get added. 1, it is for 2, right? 2, B, and then 10,000. And for this you have to maintain one more column here, which is maybe anything, status maybe. We have to give our own column name, and here it should be current. This is previous, and this is current value, and this is also current. Getting it? So this is how the data will be stored for historical. Historical means it will maintain both current record and also the previous record. So what is the previous record for this employee and what's his current salary? So it will maintain the two records if you declare any field as a historical, right? Clear, guys? This text is up to us, old or new, we can give it, or current or previous, whatever it is, and we have to use a new column in the table to decide that or to change that. Any questions, guys? Theoretical part. Okay, if it is clear, then let me explain you with example. So I'm going to take source as let's check this table. Yeah, I'll take this table as a source, right? And my destination is EMP details. Maybe merge how many records it has. Yeah, so I'll take destination as EMP details underscore merge. Okay, and the source is here April 2021 SSIS EMP details. So let me use that. So let me drag a data flow task. And we're going to discuss about SCD. I just need to take source. It will accept only one source, guys. LDB source. And if you want to give multiple data as a source, how do you give it? Let's say I told you like SCD will accept only one source. If you want to fetch data from multiple sources, and if you need to give it only one source as input, how do you do it? Any idea?
Multicast.
Multicast, what it will do?
From one source to different destinations.
But what I asked, my question is, as I told you, like it will accept only one source, SCD. How do you combine multiple sources data into a single source and provide that source in as input to SCD? That's what my question.
Mega join.
Sorry.
Merge join.
If it is four sources, how many sources will merge and accept?
Union all.
Yeah, so we can do union all, and then that union all output we can give input as SCD, right? So according to the requirement, you have to utilize your transformations. So now I'm just used April 2021 database as my source database, and the table is EMP details. And here in the SCD, so once you click on it, will open a wizard. Click on next, and my destination is October 2021 database. And the table name is EMP details underscore merge, right? So here you have to select the destination database like we configured in the lookup, right? The same thing you should use a destination connection manager in slowly changing dimension, and you have to select your table name. EMP details underscore merge, right? And here you have to choose one business key column. Okay. it is not coming. EMP details underscore merge. Let me change the table name and then let it reload it back. Okay. And then I'll just choose EMP details underscore merge. Okay, got it. See here, column names are different, right? So that's the reason why you have to map it. And then EDOB. Yeah, I'll select employee ID as a business key. So we have to select at least one business key just for its reference, system SCD reference. So we have to give it. And then,
What it means, Mark?
sorry?
Business key.
No, business key, it is used for unique key reference for SCD. That's it. There is no reason behind that. We have to use one business key. There is no reason for that.
Okay.
And here, I think there are data type issues. See here, data of birth string and the column is date type. We have to use data conversions then. So date of birth is having date time. And in the source, April 2021, which data type we have? It is worker, right? So let us change it to date time. And employee ID also worker is there. This is what they shows. Okay. Date time and then integer. Yeah. So before SCD, we have to use data conversion. Let's use that. And then date of birth. So here it should be integer, which is 4 byte signed integer. And then here we should select the date time. Okay, database timestamp. Choose that, click on OK. Now, slowly changing dimension, again reconfigure it. So choose the destination database, October 2021. And the table name is EMP details underscore merge. Copy of employee ID and then employee name. Choose one business key and then click on next. And then here comes the types which we have discussed here. Which one we have to choose fixed and which one we have to choose historical. And see, based on the column type or values, we have to choose it. Here I'm going to take employee date of birth as fixed, employee name as changing, and salary as historical. So employee date of birth should be fixed, right? It will not change. So that's why I'll take it as a fixed. And then employee name, I'll choose as a changing, which means every time the name changes, we have to update that record in the destination, most recent value. And employee salary, I'll choose it as a historical. Okay. And if you click on next, see here, for fixed attributes, you can see there is a checkbox checked, fail the transformation if changes are detected in a fixed attribute, which means if any changes occurs to the fixed column, it will fail it. That's what I explained here. All right, it should fail, right? If any changes occurs to the fixed ID columns. Why? Because employee date of birth should not change it. All right, it is fixed. So if anyone trying to change it in the source, and we should not do the changes in the destination. So yeah, that's a improper data, right? So that's why we can fail it and click on next. Here we have to use a historical attribute, how to set it, right? So here we have to use the extra column that which I told to add it here, status, right? So we did not add it, so let's add that into a destination table. So let me use alter table name. Why we are adding is just to maintain which is the current record and which is the old record or previous record, right? So add column, just use status and marker of 10. Right, so new column has been added and automatically it will not refresh by default. So come back. I think now also it will not. So we have to reconfigure it again to push to get the new column name there. It will not detect automatically, right? So October 2021. That's why we have to use it before we configure the SCD. We have to create a column, right? So here copy of date of birth and here copy of employee ID and then employee name. So for this there is no source column, leave it as it is. Okay, and here you have to choose a business key and click on next, and employee date of birth, employee name, employee salary, date of birth I'll leave it as it is as a fixed, and employee name I'll choose changing and here choose historical, right? So click on next. So we have came here. Here you can see the extra column which we have added now. So choose that status and it will ask for which value when current, how you need to do it, either current or true or false. All right. So we are giving here current and then expired. So if you want to change it, you can change it, right? So I'm leaving as it is. For the current value, most recent value, it will be current, and the previous value, it will be expired. All right. And here there is one more field, use start and dates. So based on the dates also we can identify that column is current or old, right? Instead of date, this will be effective. So that's why we are choosing this and click on next. Leave it as it is. There is no much stuff here. Next, finish. That's it. Any questions, guys? Okay, let me explain you with data. Maybe you will get some doubts or if any concerns, I'll explain. What is our source table? Yeah, here, right? So as of now, do I have any matching records here? I don't have any records, right? The same values compared to destination. Here the IDs are in double digits and here it is different. So first let me execute it and then we'll try to change, right? So first I'm pushing the data, whatever it is in the source, and then we'll try to work on 3 SCD types. All the new 15 rows are inserted into the destination. So let me check the destination table. Already we have 10 rows. And now it is 25, right? So now what I'm going to do is see whatever we have in the source that is there in the destination. Now what happens? Now how we need to test is, see we have a source data already in the destination. Now if any changes occurs to the source, then it will compare with destination and then it will update or it will maintain 2 records. We'll have to observe, right? So as of now you can see all the values are current. See, these are the previous records. It will be null only, already existing data. Whatever the data which we have loaded the 15 records recently, for that the status will be current, right? So now what I'm going to do is for ID 5000, I'm going to change name. Okay. The source for ID 5000, I'm going to change name. name value. Update. Set emp name equals to Maradi pair emp id equals to 5000. For the id 5000, I'm changing the name, right? So since we have declared name as changing, now in my destination it should not be Amar, it should be Amareddy once I execute the package. Let's observe that. That is what the changing I explained, right? As of now, for the record 5000, the name is Amar. As per my explanation here, for changing, if any changes occurs, it has to overwrite it, right? It was A earlier, and then I made it to AX in the source. And when we execute the package, the destination also should overwrite with the record in source, right? So let's check that. Right click, execute package. Can you see here? This is the insert new rows. This is the new flow for inserting. And this is the, you can see here, changing attribute. All right, one row is affected. And if you go to table, destination table, and if you execute it, can you see here? Is there any new record inserted? No, right? So this is the existing record. The data is overwritten since we have declared this field as changing, right? So now what I'm going to do is for the same field, all right, for the ID 5000, I'm going to change the salary. Now what should happen, guys? For this record, it should get update this value as a old or expired, and it should insert one more record with changing salary here. Right now it is 25. It should insert one more record. So now first let's update the source record. Okay, for salary, employee ID 5000. I'm gonna change salary to some 60,000. Okay, set e salary equals to 60,000. Now it is 30, where employee ID equals to 5000. I have updated a record in the source for the employee ID 5000. Here, can you see 60,000? In the source, it is 60,000. In destination, as of now, it is 30,000. So what it should do now, it has to maintain both the records. What was his salary earlier and what is his salary. So both it should maintain. And let's see whether one more record will insert or not. So if I execute the package again, why am I executing again means, so there are changes in the source, right? So every day if you load it, if there are any changes in the source, it has to pick it and insert into the destination, right? So that is what the packages we are building. And let me right click and execute. Test 1 minute. Karthik. Yeah. See now, can you see one record has been inserted? And let me go back and check in the destination. Can you see 26 rows? Let's observe those two records. For 5000, you can see this is updated to expired, right? And his salary was 30,000, and now his salary is 60,000, which is the current. Or maybe for better understanding, let me filter out the data where EID equals to 5000. Can you see? There are two records for this. One was 30,000 and one is 60,000, which is the current. All right. Clear, guys? The changing and historical.
So for multiple employee IDs,
Uh-huh.
so if we want to see the changes, we need to do same, like
Oh,
the
we need
same
to update.
status.
We need to update in the source. Then you can run it.
Yes.
Yeah. If
If
you
it is
want to,
100 employee IDs,
it will change.
changing
Yes.
their salaries.
Yes. Maybe let me change it to multiple employee IDs. I'll just change the salary to 55,000. I think there is no 55,000 in the source. And for employee IDs, how to change multiple employee salaries, guys? How to I should modify it? I should
In.
include in
Yes.
and maybe employee ID 1, employee ID 5, and employee ID 510, right? And maybe 10. So let's take it this 4, and I'm changing it.
Close bracket.
Close.
I have updated the rows. Now let's check the data in the source itself. For 1, the salary is 55,000, and for 5, the salary is 55, and for 510, 55. Do we have 100 here? Maybe instead of 10, I made it 100, I guess. Let me change it to 10. Where employee ID equals to 10. Right? So now I changed the values for 4. Right? 4 employee IDs, I did the change of salaries. One is employee ID 1, and employee ID 10, employee ID 510, and employee ID 5 as well. All right. So 4 salaries have been changed. So now it should get insert new 4 records. If I execute the package, right click and execute package. And if I go to the destination and check it, can you see 4 rows are inserted? It was 26 earlier, right? So now it is 30. If you come down, can you see? Maybe let me filter out where status equals to, or maybe same employee ID self check. Can you see here? All the 4 records. For employee ID 10, the recent record is 55, and you can see status current. And for employee ID 10, it was 1 lakh, and it is expired. Clear, guys?
But in a company, so every year there will be having appraisals. So there will be hundreds of employees, no? So for that like giving employee ID in that you should give like
No,
20
we'll
members.
not see. We'll not update manually in real time. You got it? See how the
Okay.
employee IDs will be created. Do you know in real time organization? Do you think they'll insert manually using SQL Server?
Yeah, that's not possible. That's what I'm.
No, as per your understanding, do you know how they will create the employee IDs?
No idea.
With one-time password, I think so.
No, it will be front-end application will be there. See, if you open, if you see any registration forms, it will be a web form, right? You can see front-end applications. Did you observe,
Yes.
guys? Any registration forms you can see in ID, name, and then age, right? Upload your proofs, something you can see in the web URL, correct? So the same way in organizations also, they'll maintain one application. So they will enter in the front-end application, right? It will be like web application, and it will directly go and insert data into a table backend, right? So that will be a .NET application or any other web application. it will automatically fetch those front-end entered values and it will insert into a table. And that table data, you will use it as a source in SSIS. And once you run your package at your scheduled time, it will pick those values and insert into the destination, or it will update the data. Clear?
Okay.
In real time, normally either employee salary maintenance form or any other business related data will not do any manual updates or inserts. It will be automatic process. That's the reason why we are using SSIS here. This is automated process, right? We are not touching it. Even the source data also, it will be automated through application, and we are picking those source data. That's it. Here we don't have automatic source updates, right? So that is the reason why I am updating it manually here, right? So in real time, the source server will be different for you. So automatically data will be appending daily according to the business, right? So if there are any changes to the current data in the destination compared to source, then that will get updated in our destination table according to your process. Any other questions, guys? Okay, if not, let's test the other scenario. I think we did not test it fixed, right? Employee date of birth, we made it as fixed. I think you forgot, so let's test that. So here I'm gonna change employee date of birth to something EDOB. Maybe I'll just give 2021-01-01 for employee ID equals to, let's say 2. For employee ID 2, I'm gonna update the date of birth. One record is updated. Now for employee ID 2, you can see the date of birth is changed. And now let me execute the package. Right click and execute. See, it's failing. If you go to progress tab, you can see the error message. What it is saying, if the fail on fixed attribute change property is set to true, the transformation will fail when a fixed attribute change is detected. The transformation will fail when a fixed attribute change is detected. So we have choose employee date of birth as fixed, but there is a change occurring on the employee date of birth in the source. That is the reason why it is failing. That's what the error message is. The transformation will fail when a fixed attribute change is detected, right? Clear? So if any changes occurs to the fixed, the transformation it will get failed. It will not update the data in the destination. If you declare any attribute as a changing, then the most recent value, it will get updated into the destination. And if you use any attribute in the sense columns, if you use any columns as historical, then if any changes occurs on the source for that historical field, it will maintain both the previous record and also the recent record. And we can see by using another column which will maintain in the table. Based on that, you can see whether it is previous record or current record, right? So this is very important in interview point of view. So they'll ask you how many types of SEDs are there, and you have to explain the same way, right? So try to remember the explanation and try to present it the same way. Okay, like we discussed here. See guys, whatever the concepts you are trying to learn, so try to learn thoroughly, and you have to learn in such a way that when any interviewer asks us question on the topic which you know very well, you have to answer thoroughly, right? So that way you need to prepare it thoroughly. You should prepare, and because most of the interview questions will be whatever we are discussing in the class, 90%. Maybe if you wanted, I can bring back a few previous class students so that they can give you some guidance. Whoever attending interviews, they'll get to know, right? So what kind of questions are asking, so how you need to prepare and how you need to follow. Maybe in the next class or next 2 classes, I'll try to get them. They'll give you guidance as well in the class. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for today, and we'll connect tomorrow evening 6:30 p.m. Right. Thanks for joining, and we'll connect tomorrow.